And now calls forward our first witness. Our first witness is Mr. Andrew S. Fastow, former Chief Financial Officer, Enron Corporation. Mr. Fastow is here pursuant to a subpoena served earlier this week. Mr. Fastow, if you'll please be seated at the table. Mr. Fastow, you are aware that the committee is holding an investigative hearing, and when doing so has had the practice of taking testimony under oath. Do you have any objection to testifying under oath?
No, sir, I do not.
Thank you. The chair then also advises you that under the rules of the House and the rules of the committee, you are entitled to be advised by counsel. Do you desire to be advised by counsel during your testimony today?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. My counsel, Mr. John Kecker, is seated next to me.
Okay. For the record, could you spell Mr. Kecker's name for us?
K-E-K-E-R.
Thank you, Mr. Kecker. In that case, would you please rise and raise your right hand, and I will swear you in. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
In that case, will you please, you are now under oath, and you may give a 5-minute summary of your written statement. Do you have an opening statement, sir?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. In that case, the chair will then recognize himself for questions to the witness. Mr. Fastow, you are the CFO of a Fortune 10 company, a full-time job to be sure. Yet somehow you managed to also run 2 private equity funds, using your insider status at Enron to attract investors and enrich yourself by tens of millions of dollars by doing deals, and highly questionable deals at that, with your own company. You also, we have learned, used your power, position, and influence to threaten and pressure Enron employees in an attempt to obtain favorable terms for your private partnerships. Question, Mr. Fastow, is how could you believe that your actions were in any way consistent with your fiduciary duties to Enron and its shareholders, or with common sense notions of corporate ethics and propriety? How do you answer, sir?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to answer the committee's questions, but on the advice of my counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question based on the protection afforded me under the Constitution of the United States.
Let me be clear, Mr. Fastow, are you refusing to answer the question on the basis of the protections afforded to you under the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution?
Again, Mr. Chairman, on the advice of my counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the questions based on the protection afforded me under the United States Constitution.
And will you invoke your Fifth Amendment rights in response to all of our questions here today?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we regret that, but it is your right. Excuse me. It is therefore the chair's intention to dismiss the witness, but the committee, of course, reserves all of its rights to recall the witness at any time. Mr. DEUTSCH, do you agree with our decision?
Mr. Chairman, normally I would very easily, but I think that this might be the only time that we're going to have any chance in a public setting to even attempt to ask Mr. Fastow questions. And I know that he is intending to invoke his Fifth Amendment prerogative, which I take very seriously. But at the same time, within the constraints that he has, and he has that right, I would ask him if there's any area that he feels he can discuss, any questions within the area of his, so our understanding. I mean, I just got rebriefed by our staff on the Rhythms transaction, and still, and there will be some people who testify, but obviously this is a transaction that you set up, that you were the general partner of and the CFO at the time.
The chair must note that we would all, of course, like to question Mr. Fastow, but we have had our discussions with his attorney. It was clear to Mr. Fastow and to his attorney that should he invoke his Fifth Amendments, to which he is entitled, we would dismiss him. And we've not had this conversation up until this moment. So the decision of the chairman is firm that Mr. Fastow, you are dismissed and you may be on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chair then